Okay, everyone, welcome back to MTG Life. First things first, I want to say that Aether Bundle came in. I just got to get the camera stand and stuff and start setting up some stuff and mess around with the camera a bit. Get it set up the way I want it to. So I should get a video of opening up that out in a few days or something like that, somewhere around then. I'm going to try to do it before I head on vacation, which will be Saturday next week. The 7th, so I'm gonna work on getting that done. Now we're going to move on to our commander deck tech for today, which will be Dwynen, Gilt Leaf Daen. She's 2 green and 2 generic mana for a 3/4 legendary elf warrior with reach. Other elves you control get +1/+1. Whenever Dwynen Gilt Leaf Daen attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf you control. First off, okay, who doesn't love a commander that can also be a lord as well? She buffs your other elves, she can block flyers, and then she gains you life for each other elf. So of course we're going to do a tribal elf deck with this deck here. We're going to start off with our rares. We actually only have 1 in here. I only have so many decent elves to put in here. So the first one is Steel Leaf Champion. It's 3 green for a 5/4 elf knight with it can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. So it just means they can't chump block it basically with a 1/1 or anything like that. It means that if they want to do that, they have to block something that's got like 3 power or something, and they need something with 4 power to kill it. So now we're going to start off with the first 3 cards being 3 of our more influential, better, more important elves in this kind of deck. The first one being Copperhorn Scout. It's 1 green for a 1/1 elf scout. Whenever it attacks, untap each other creature you control. First off, it's really great because pretty much you're going to attack with it no matter what. You're going to mainly attack whenever you have a large amount of elves on the battlefield. So you attack with all of them. You attack with this, it untaps them all, even if this, and that means your opponent may want to, like, say, block your Steel Leaf Champion to keep from taking the 5 damage. But eventually they're going to have to block your scout here so that she basically stops giving your creatures vigilance, technically. Well, it's kind of vigilance. It just untaps them. Alright, so the next card we have in here that's very important in this kind of deck is Lys Alan Huntmaster. She's 2 green, 2 generic mana for a 3/3 elf warrior. Whenever you play an elf spell, you may put a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token into play. It's very good. It gives us more tokens. It goes really well with our commander because then she buffs those tokens and makes them 2/2s. And then if we have a lot of them, of course we're going to get a lot if the Huntmaster here stays on the battlefield long enough. And then we attack and gain a lot of life as well. Now the third and last most important one in here is Elvish Vanguard. Foil, shiny. He's green and 1 generic mana for a 1/1 elf warrior. So whenever another elf enters battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on Elvish Vanguard. So first off, the Huntmaster can double very well with the Vanguard because every time those tokens, you put a token into play, it will activate the Vanguard here. And any other elf as well. So those two go very well together, and then it can of course become a gigantic threat early on, especially because we're going to have quite a few 1-drop elvish creatures in here. So we could possibly put down 2 or 3 of them into play after the Vanguard here, and make him a 4/4, 3/3 something very quickly. Next card we have here, we're going to start off with our elves. We do have 1 creature in here that's not an elf, but that's because it just goes really well with it. The next card here is Heart Warden. It's green, 1 generic mana for a 1/1 elf. Tap, add 1 green to your mana pool. You can pay 2, sacrifice it, draw a card. We have this in here because it helps with the mana ramp, and later on it can help us with draw. Green has very few cards that actually, more than other, like, green's about number 3 in the way of drawing cards, but it's mainly for mana ramp. So, and we're running tribal elves, so we're kind of trying to stay around tribal's themes, but we do still need card draw. because it is elves, it is green, so we're going to easily ramp out into cards very quickly and empty our hand very fast. So what we want to be able to do is to draw into more cards. That's always important in a kind of deck like this, because you can get very fast and then sputter out quickly. So a low card draw helps. And later on, he's a 1/1, he won't matter much, and we'll have plenty of mana. Golgari Decoy is our next one. It's a green 3 generic mana for a 2/2 elf rogue with all creatures able to block it do so. If we want to attack with a lot of creatures, attack with the Decoy, we get in a lot of damage and just lose one creature. It has Scavenge. You pay 2 green, 3 generic mana, exile this card from your graveyard. Put a number of 1/1 counters equal to this card's power on target creature. Scavenge only has a sorcery. It'll probably die whenever we attack with it. And then we can get a little added advantage from it later on, buff our commander or another elf, anything like that. Centaur's Herald. It's 1 generic mana for a 0/1 elf scout. It's in here because it's just a 1-drop 0/1. It's a 1-drop elf. You can pay a green, 2 generic mana, sacrifice it, put a 3/3 green centaur creature token on the battlefield. Pretty much what you can do, use it as a chump blocker. Attack, they attack, and you block with it. Before the damage is dealt through, the damage will be stopped, and then you can pay the mana, sacrifice it, and get a token out of it, and then you don't take any damage. It's pretty much what it's in here for. Spire Tracer, it's 1 green for a 1/1 elf scout with it can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. Just another creature to get in some damage. Lenoir Empath is a green 3 generic mana for a 2/2 elf shaman with when it enters the battlefield you scry 2, then reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it into your hand. So pretty much you get, if there is a creature card in there, you basically get to put it there however you want it, or put any of the cards on the bottom and hopefully get a new one. Whatever, it just gives you a little advantage to it. And it also counts towards a little bit of card draw as well, in its own way. So it gets a little multiple uses out of it. Not multiple, but multi-uses when it enters battlefield. Next card is Leaf Gilder. It's a green 1 generic mana for a 2/1 elf druid tapped at a green to your mana pool. It's just another elf. 2 mana, 2/1, taps to add mana. Yavaz, I probably pronounced this wrong, Force Mage. It's a green 2 generic mana for a 2/2 elf shaman. When it enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Just use it, play it, buff one of your elves, then attack. Elves are typically pretty weak creatures. They go very well together, but typically they can be pretty weak on their own. So we gotta use some stuff to kind of buff them up, make them stronger if we want them to be a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. Now, next card here is Reclamation Sage. It's a green 2 generic mana for a 2/1 elf shaman with it enters battlefield. You may destroy target artifact or enchantment. It's very useful. It gives us a little artifact or enchantment hate. Gives us a body. Gives us an elf. Now, the next card here is Lifespring Druid. You pay a green 2 generic mana for a 2/1 elf druid tapped to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Of course, it's going to be green. Just gives us another body, gives us another elf. Tajura Beastmaster. It's a green 5 generic mana for a 5/5 elf warrior ally. Rally when it or another ally enters battlefield under your control. Not really doing allies, but still, when it enters battlefield under your control, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end turn. No, odds are you're going to play this when you have a lot of creatures, so that the our commander will buff them all. Play this, it buffs them again, and then you swing in. And we do have a few allies, so it can activate a time or two. Tajura Path Warden, it's a green 4 generic mana for a 5/4 elf warrior ally, Vigilance Trample. It's a big body. We do kind of need a few big power and toughness creatures. This is why those two are really in there, is to give us something that on its own is a nice blocker or attacker. It's a nice body on the field. Next card is Elvish Visionary. It's a green 1 generic mana for a 1/1 elf shaman. When it enters battlefield, draw a card. Gives you more card draw and gives you a body. Selva's Enforcer. It's a green 3 generic mana for a 2/2 elf warrior with parlay. When it enters battlefield, each player reveals the top card of his or her library. For each non-land card revealed this way, you put a 1/1 counter on it. Then each player draws a card. So it's card draw on itself, and it could possibly come out as a 6/6 for 4 mana, and you draw a card. Probably not going to happen, but you never know. There's always a chance. And it, like I said, it gives you a little card draw. Odds are it's going to get at least one counter on it. So, I mean, that's 4 mana for a 3/3. You draw a card. Not bad. Shaman of the Spring. It's a green 3 generic mana for a 2/2 Elf Shaman. When it enters battlefield, draw a card. More card draw. Elvish Mystic, green 1/1 Elf. Druid, tapped at a green to your mana pool. It's another body, little mana ramp. Not much else to say about it. Dwynen's Elite, it's a green 1 generic mana for 2/2 Elf Warrior. When it enters battlefield, if you control another elf, put a 1/1 green Elf Warrior creature token onto battlefield. We're going to control another elf when that enters battlefield. I mean, you could possibly put it in there down turn 2. Turn 1, Elvish Druid. Turn 2, you could possibly play Dwynen's Elite, get Dwynen's Elite, and another and then a token, and then tap 1 more mana, and then put down like a 1-drop or something. Then that's like 4 creatures on the field, turn 2. Most likely five power in all on the battlefield, turn 2. Next card is Llanowar Elite. It's a 1-drop for a 1/1 elf. It has kicker 8. You may pay 8 as an additional cost of the spell. Trample. If it was kicker cost was paid, it comes into play with 5 1/1 counters on it. It's just something in here that we can play later on as a bigger creature or play early on as a small creature, which is kind of funny because then it's a 1-drop 1/1 with trample, but then you can just buff it with like Titanic Growth or Larger Than Life or something like that, or even both of them at the same time, make it a 9/9 for total of actually 5 mana with trample. Next card here is another foil, which I really like these older foils. It's a Elvish Handservant. It's a green. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a very dark green foil. I really like that foiling. I wish they'd go back to the darker colored foils. It's 1 green for a 1/1 Elf Warrior. Whenever a player plays a giant spell, you may put a 1/1 counter on Elvish Handservant. It's another 1-drop, and you never know if someone may. Pretty much, it's just a 1-drop body, 1/1 body on the field. You never know. Someone may play a giant or 2 throughout a game. Or you may come up against a deck where it's just like tribal giants. You never know. It could have some uses, or it could just be a nice 1-drop 1/1 body. Skyshroud Ranger. It's a forest for a 1/1 elf. Tap, choose a land card in your hand, put it into play, play this ability as a sorcery. Not much wrong with it and such. Gives you a little extra mana ramp. It's a 1-drop 1/1 as well. So I mean, Elfheim Druid. It's a green 1 generic mana for a 0/2 Elf Druid. You tapped add a green or tapped add 2 green. Spend this mana only to cast kick spells. We have 1 or 2 kicker spells in here. It just gives us a little extra mana. Gives us a body. If it's attacking with Dwynen, it's a 1/3. Which is a decent for 2 mana. Llanowar Elves, it's a 1-drop 1/1 Elf Druid. You tap to add a green to your mana pool. Llanowar Envoy, it's a green 2 generic mana for a 3/2 Elf Scout. You pay 2, add 1 mana of any color. We're not going to really use that. We're mainly using it as a 3/2, or when Dwynen's out, it's a 4/3 then. It's not bad or anything like that. Pima Outrider, it's 2 green, 2 generic mana for a 3/3 Elf Artificer with Trample. Fabricate. When this creature in this battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on it, or create a 1/1 colorless Servo Artifact creature token. Anything we run in here with Fabricate, odds are we're probably going to put the 1/1 counter on it, because we're running a few things with 1/1 counters, and we mainly want to buff our creatures. I mean, you could get the token and just have an extra blocker, but I'd probably just play it with just the Fabricate, just for the 1/1 counter. Next card is Highspire Artisan. I feel like I say it wrong every time. It's a 1 green, 2 generic mana for a 0/3 Elf Artificer. With Reach, this creature can block creatures with flying. Fabricate 1, same thing as before. Odds are you're probably going to put a counter on it. It becomes a 1/4 then. And then when it attacks, it becomes a 2/5. Very hard to kill. Decent attacker. Well, not a decent damage attacker, but I mean with the 5 toughness, your opponents, if they try to block it, it's not most likely not going to die, at least early on. And they just be maybe like, okay, that's just 2 power, 5 toughness, not really worth trying to block that because we can't really kill it. So might as well just let it deal the damage and block something else. Next card is Wild Wanderer. It's a green 3 generic mana for an Elf Druid. 3/2. When it enters battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. It just gives us an extra land advantage, so on. Elf decks kind of want to get that mana ramp going pretty well. Kajar? Seed Sculptor, I probably pronounced it wrong as well. It's green, 1 generic mana for a 1/2 Elf Druid. When it enters battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. If you have no creatures, you can just put it onto it, make it a 2/3 for 2 mana, which isn't bad. Or if there's another creature you want to buff, you can put it onto that, or the commander, or anything like that. It buffs stuff when it enters battlefield for 2 mana and gives us body. Druid of the Cow. It's a 1 green, 1 generic mana for a 1/3 Elf Druid with tapped out a green to your mana pool. Just another body. Mana ramp. Tajor Stalwart. It's a green 2 generic mana for a 0/1 Elf Scout ally. Converge. Enters battlefield with 1/1 counter on it for each color mana spent to cast it. I don't play Converge stuff much, so I think in a mono green deck it's just gonna come into the battlefield as a 1/2. I don't know. It may mean like for if you tap lands for it instead of like say if you were to tap Soul Ring to pay the 2 extra. So I don't know. I'll have to search it up. But it's another elf that comes in with a 1 counter for 3 mana. It's a 1/2 with Dwynen. It's a 2/3. I don't know. Some of these lesser ones that I'm just like I don't know about are cards that you can easily take out and replace other stuff with. Like I said, I tried to do this stuff budget, and I put it in on tapped out net, whatever it is, and it pretty much maxes $20 for this entire deck if you were to want to pay for each single individual card, and that's probably including lands as well, because I also had the lands included in it as well, so it's probably a few bucks less than that as well. But yeah, whenever I put the list down on here on the bottom to give you the address, the link address to it, just copy paste it, put it in, and if you scroll down to the side on the right, a little bit below the cards, there'll be a thing set with TCG Player, Card Kingdom, and like how much it costs if you were to buy them from those sites. I think the most expensive one I've already done so far was the Omnith one, which was like somewhere around $40, but that's because Omnith is expensive. Had Planeswalkers in it. Had some more rare cards, which reminds me, for the Omnith deck, I forgot to put in an Early Harvest, which is 2 green, 1 generic mana for a sorcery. You untap all lands you control in that kind of deck, double it up with Mana Flare. It gets crazy. Okay, let's get back to the deck. My bad, I kind of went a little off topic there. Wildheart Invoker, it's 2 green, 2 generic mana for a 4/3 Elf Shaman. You can pay 8, target creature gets +5 and gains trample until end of turn. Plus another one of our creatures later on in the game. For 4 mana, it gives us a decent attacker and gives us another elf. Okay, so we're done with the tribal elf stuff. We kind of went a little lower on elves, but yeah. Next card is Nihilist Disciple. It's 2 green, 2 generic mana for a 3/3 Centaur Archer. When it enters battlefield, you gain life equal to your devotion to green. Each green in your mana cost of permanents you control counts towards your devotion to green. Odds are you're going to get a lot of that stuff. We have it in here for if you need some life later on in the game and you have plenty of stuff out, but you're low on life. Say you've been running against a burn kind of commander deck, and they're just burning your face and not your creatures because they're burning you so fast that it doesn't matter how much damage you deal. You can play this, it gives you a little extra life. Or if you've lost some life, it lets you gain some more life. Now we're going to get into our buff stuff. Titanic Growth. It's green, 2 generic mana for an instant. Target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. Ranger's Guile. It's 1 green for an instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof until end of turn. Swell of Growth. It's a 1 green for a 1 generic mana for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. You may put a land card from your hand onto battlefield buffs, and then gives us a little mana ramp as well. Technically. Larger Than Life. It's a green 1 generic mana for a sorcery. Target creature gets +4/+4 and gains trample until end of turn. Ornamental Courage. It's 1 green for a instant untapped target creature. It gets +1/+3 until end turn. Basically, it gives you a really good blocker. And lets you swing in and say your opponent only has 1 creature. Lets you swing in with everything. They decide not to block and then they attack, then you can untap it and then give it a decent toughness. Shape the Sands. It's 1 green for an instant. Target creature gets +0/+5 and gains reach until end turn. Lets us block those flyers. Tread Upon. 1 green, 1 generic mana for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn. There's some trample to buff some creatures and then get in with some trample damage. Woodcutter's Grit. It's 1 green, 2 generic mana for an instant. Target creature you control gets +3/+3 and gains hexproof until end turn. Vines of the Recluse. It's 1 green for an instant. Target creature gets +1/+2 and gains reach until end of turn. Untap it. Lets us block a flyer. This is where having out a lot of these low drop elves and playing them all out really fast will help us with these next card or two. Might of the Masses. It's 1 green for an instant. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature you control. It could easily get +5/+5 for 1 mana, pretty much. Chorus of Might. It's 1 green, 3 generic mana for an instant. Till end of turn, target creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control and gains trample. If you can find a way to play both of them at the exact same time, basically you're doubling for however much creature. Say you have 5 creatures, target creature gets +10/+10 and gains trample for 5 mana. That's a great cost. Next card is Rapid Vigor. It's a green 1 generic mana for an instant. Regenerate each creature you control. It lets you attack in with a lot of creatures, even if your opponent has stuff, so that if you want to kill some of their creatures or just deal a lot of damage, lets you attack in and not worry about losing all your creatures, because then you can play that after they die or however that works 100%, and then just get them back. Sure, they come back and tap, but they're going to be tapped anyways. And then they'll just untap at your upkeep. Reigns of the Vine Steed. It's 1 green, 3 generic mana for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +2/+2. When enchanted creature is put into a graveyard, you may return Reigns of the Vine Steed from your graveyard to play, attached to a creature that shares a creature type with that creature. Pretty much what happens is you get to play. You want a card like that in almost any tribal kind of deck that just goes with creature types. This here is really good because, yeah, it's 4 mana for a +2/+2, but I mean, it's something that 4 mana and then it will continuously keep coming back until they just specifically get rid of the aura itself, which most people won't want to do because it's just +2/+2. So odds are they're just going to keep killing your creatures. It will just keep coming back, and you can then enchant it to whatever creature you want. I would not recommend enchanting Dwynen because the creature has to go to the graveyard. Yeah. And odds are you're going to put it back into the command zone, so you don't really want to do that. Watch out for bounce spells, though. Now we're getting into our 1/1 counters. Incremental Growth. You pay 2 green, 3 generic mana for a sorcery. You put a 1/1 counter on target creature. 2 1/1 counters on another. 3 1/1 counters on a third. It's really good and really useful. I wish I had the Incremental Blight for my Hapatra deck, but nah, I can't get my hands on that. Elven Rite. It's a 1 green, 1 generic mana for a sorcery. Put 2 1/1 counters on it. Put 2 1/1 counters distributed any way you choose on any number of target creatures. 2 mana, 2 1/1 counters on something, or on different creatures or something. Nissa's Judgment. You pay a green for generic mana for a sorcery. Support 2. Put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Choose up to 1 target creature. And opponent controls. Each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it deals damage equal to its power to that creature. We're going to run a lot of these instant sorceries that's like target creature you control fights or deals damage to an opponent's creature. because we want to be able to take them out without attacking. Because we're going to have some low creatures and such like that. So we really just want to be able to take them out before attacking like that. Lead by example, it's 1 green, 1 generic mana for an instant support 2. This gives us more counters. Forced Adaptation, it's 1 green for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a 1/1 counter on enchanted creature. Probably enchant that to Dwynen, just to make her larger and more powerful. Hunt the Weak. It's 1 green, 3 generic mana for a sorcery. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Then that creature fights target creature you don't control. Now we're getting more into our fighting stuff. So this buffs a creature and then has it fight another creature. Very useful, very good. Prey Upon. 1 green for a sorcery target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Odds are we're going to do it with something that we know we're going to win. Savage Punch. 1 green, 1 generic mana for a sorcery target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Ferocious. If the creature you control gets +2/+2 until end turn, before it fights if you control a creature of power 4 or greater. Just do a little buff, do that, attack. Wild Instincts. Green, 3 generic mana for a sorcery target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end turn. It fights target creature and opponent controls. Buff, kill off a creature, attack, so on. Any green deck should always run this card. It's Reclaim. It's 1 green for an instant. Put target creature card from your not creature. Sorry. Give me one. Sorry. Reclaim. You pay 1 green for an instant. Put target card from your graveyard on top of your library. It lets you go back and get something that's good for 1 mana. Fog. 1 green for an instant. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Fog your opponent. Clinging Mist. 1 green, 2 generic mana for an instant. We're doing this stuff so that we can easily attack. Swing in with everything and they'll be like, oh, I'm not going to block or anything. Then I can just hit them for a lot more. Then you play a Fog. Clinging Mist. 1 green, 2 generic mana for an instant. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Fateful Hour. If you have 5 or less life, tap all attacking creatures. Those creatures don't untap during their control's next untap step. I was originally wanting to make a Fateful Hour deck, but I could never get my hands on enough Fateful Hour cards. Sorry about that. My voice is getting a little weird now. Winds of Qualsisma. 1 green, 1 generic mana for an instant. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn. Ferocious. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, instead prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn by creatures your opponents control. That Ferocious ability activates. That means your opponent attacks with everything. You block with everything. Play this card out and its Ferocious ability activates. Their creatures won't deal damage to yours, but yours will still deal damage to them. Which means that their creatures will die, and you won't have to worry about yours dying. Or you can just chump block them and kill off a few creatures as well. Bower Passage is a green, 1 generic mana for an enchantment with. Creatures with flying can't block creatures you control. Just to kind of stop those flyers from being able to chump block us. Now we're getting more into our flyer stuff because we don't have really much stuff to mess with flyers. So we're going to have a few cards that are going to help basically screw them over. Aerial Volley. It's 1 green for an instant. It deals 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures with flying. Plummet. 1 green, 1 generic mana for an instant. Destroy target creature with flying. You can also put in Sky Pierce. I didn't do it because I just forgot about it. It's same amount of mana as Plummet. Deals 7 damage to target creature with flying. Eaten by Spiders. It's a green, 2 generic mana for an instant. Destroy target creature with flying and all equipment attached to that creature. So that means that they equipped a creature and the equipment gave it flying. Then you can play this and destroy the equipment as well. Or if they had a creature with flying and they've just been equipping it with a bunch of stuff and attacking into you. Destroy it and all the equipment as well. Wing Puncher. It's a green for an instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature with flying. Now we're getting into our artifact enchantment hate. Naturalize. It's green, 1 generic mana for an instant. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Because we want to have some stuff that can answer flyers, artifacts, and enchantments. because we're just trying to fill a board with lots of low drop creatures and then attack in by buffing them. So we need answers, because not a lot of our creatures are going to be an answer, unlike the Reclamation Sage. They're not going to be an answer to that kind of stuff. Wear Away. Pretty much we're going to pay just 2 green for an instant, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Relic Crush. It's a green for generic mana for an instant with destroy target artifact or enchantment and up to 1 other target artifact or enchantment. Rain of Thorns. It's 2 green, 3 generic mana for a sorcery. Choose 1 or more. Most likely you're going to choose more. Destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, and or destroy target land. Pretty much, if you had the chance, you're going to choose all 3. Okay, so we still got like a few more minutes I want to kill in this video. So I'm pretty much going to talk about what's going to be happening in our next few videos. Is I'm hoping to get that camera and like stands and stuff soon. I'm going to set up an area over here with some light in it so that it's easier, and you guys will get better quality from the camera. And you guys won't have to look at my at my ugly mug anymore. So then, and you guys will get better quality, and I'll probably still do it with like putting the cards in front of the camera, because I kind of like that a little more than just putting them up here. And this way you guys know that I'm not just talking about super expensive cards that I don't own, that if I had them I'd make a deck from, so that you guys know that I'm making cards that I have, that I do have the deck from, that I'm talking about from experience of having the deck and making the deck and all that stuff. So that there will be something that'll be coming up. It'll be hopefully better quality, maybe some better audio. I know to me I sound weird compared to how I hear myself in real life over video. Yeah, and maybe I'll be a little more relaxed in those videos, and most likely the first video I'll do with the camera will be, odds are I may actually just do like a good few minute video first time, getting to see how I need where I want the camera set up at, seeing how far I need it so that it don't cause glare on the cards and such, so that you guys can see them and read them clearly and still see me opening the packs. This way you guys know I'm not just pulling something super awesome out of a pack or something and putting it in. Yeah, that'll be happening. The first video, I may do a 5-minute video, and I'll probably be like at the end of it, hey, you guys may want to keep an eye on the stuff, because probably here in a few minutes after that I'll start uploading a video of me actually doing the pack opening, because I'll probably just do the video, the few minutes video, upload, be like, hey, I'm going to be doing this soon, and as soon as it's uploaded I'll probably start videotaping for the next, start immediately videotaping for the pack opening, and that'll be what I do for the day. And we'll see how it goes. It's an Aether Revolt bundle. I have never, I think I've maybe had 1 or 2, I think I maybe got 1 or 2 booster packs from Aether Revolt when it was in standard. Aside from that, I haven't opened anything from Aether Revolt, so this here's going to be interesting. I don't really know what's actually worth anything, but like I say, I don't really care much about price. If there is something that is expensive, like if I know it's expensive, then I know it's expensive, because like Carnage Tyrant, I never opened this on camera because it was before I started doing the channel. I opened it at a card store and sold it and got like 10 more packs. It was like a full Carnage Tyrant, you know, a lot of stuff from it. Ended up getting like 2 bundles, several individual packs. I ended up getting an unstable pack just to get an unstable pack. It was when Unstable was released around that time. Yeah. I wish I had had that on camera, because Carnage Tyrant is like something that everyone's wanting to pull, and I wish I'd had that on camera. That would have been great, but I wasn't doing the channel at the time. So I'm going to start doing all my openings on camera. Yeah, I think the only things that I know that are actually worth anything are like, for sure, the masterpieces from Aether Revolt and all that stuff. I don't know which ones are actually worth a lot. I think the cheapest one will basically pay for a whole nother bundle of anything, and if I pull a single one of them, pretty much basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to immediately go back and buy a whole nother thing and then sell the card and then replace the money I just spent with that stuff, and then so I can get it in faster. It'll probably most likely end up coming in after I go on my vacation, so you guys would have to wait for a while for that, but there'd still be something. Who knows, maybe I can pull something and get like several booster boxes worth of stuff. But yeah, I don't know what's actually worth much in there. If you guys know, be sure to tell me that if there's any money cards I need to be looking for. Aside from the masterpieces, I know those. I think Planar Bridge or something is in Aether Revolt. I know there's a masterpiece version of it because I was looking at that stuff. Or is it Paradox Engine? I don't know. If you guys are watching this and you guys know what's still worth something, let me know so that I can kind of keep my eyes open for it. And of course, we're doing Commander deck tech videos, and since I don't have a single Aether Revolt legendary creature, so of course, we're gonna be hoping to get legendary creatures from it. That's gonna be something we're hoping to get. I don't know. I have a friend who went to his pre-release and he won a booster box there, Dominaria, during the pre-release stuff, and he has plenty of legendary creatures. So I have a list from him of cards that he's looking for, and a few are from Aether Revolt. Some, if I get those, I'm probably gonna set them to the side so I can trade them and get some stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. If you guys want to comment on anything that we've talked about, anything that you guys think I should, comment. Let me know what you guys like. Money cards. You don't have to put the price, but anything that's like worth like something that I can then turn and maybe get like a booster pack from after selling it. Let me know, because that Aether Revolt, Kaladesh, got a few stuff from Kaladesh. Aether Revolt, like, I took a hiatus, kinda. I basically skipped that entire. I've skipped all of Aether Revolt, most of Kaladesh. I just got too busy with school and all that, so I pretty much missed all that. So I don't know what's really worth anything or what to look for. But who knows? It's a bundle. You never know what you get. Probably not going to get anything interesting. We're mainly wanting to get some legendary creatures. Don't really care if they're expensive or not. I want to be able to make something out of them. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Tell me what. I'm excited to get the better quality. And I'm probably going to extend this to about 40 minutes. So sorry, ready to random. I know you guys wanted me to keep them 25 to 30 minutes, but I kind of just want to talk a little bit more about this since it will be happening soon. But I'm ready to get the better quality. I'm ready to, and if you guys tell me if you guys think I should go back and redo all those earlier Commander videos. Like, I would still put out like a new video every day. I'm not counting those for that anyway. In any way. So if you guys think I should do that, let me know, because go back, redo them with the quality, take them down, put up the new one, or if I should just leave them up and just do new ones of them, or whatever, or if I should just leave them be. Because yeah, just let me know, because I want to do content that you guys are gonna like. I want like videos that you guys can go back and watch. Like, I can see you guys maybe watching this halfway through and then getting tired of the quality, of looking at me, of not being able to read the cards I hold up. So at least this way you guys will be able to read the cards. I'm just ready to open it up. I'm excited. I always get excited opening packs. Never know what you get. Super awesome. The last bundle I got was a Dominaria one. Ended up trading Forebear's Blade. Probably not the best idea. That was back when it wasn't worth anything. Yeah, that was kind of a stupid thing of me to do, but oh well. That there's kind of gone up in some price and such. Oh well, you live and you learn. I may get a Dominaria bundle because, like I said, we do Commander deck techs, and I only have so many commanders, legendary creatures that can be commanders, and I've pretty much gone through half of them already. And so, at least in Dominaria, I'm guaranteed at least one legendary creature pack. The odds are I'll probably get some more that I already have, but at least in one bundle I'll get one or two that I don't have, most likely. At least in the first one. Yeah. And then any multiples I get, I'll probably end up eventually doing some giveaways and stuff. Yeah, I'll probably start doing giveaways once I hit 10 subscribers, at least. I may wait a little bit after that. But yeah. And let me know if you guys think I should do some live stream. Like, I don't think I'm going to do live streams on YouTube, but once I get that camera set up and stuff, I may do some Twitch live streams, because YouTube has a thing about playing music, and I don't want to deal with all that. I'd rather just go to Twitch and play some music, and then have you guys come in. If you guys do Twitch, if you guys don't, most of y'all don't do Twitch, let me know, and then I'll try do YouTube streams if you guys want me to stream. But if you guys do Twitch, let me know so that I can know about when more people be able to do YouTube or Twitch stream, then I can do it, and we can just talk about stuff that's going on. Give me y'all's input on stuff, and just have grand old time talking about Magic cards, like the nerds and weirdos we are. Alright, so I've hit about the 40-minute mark that I was wanting to do. I want to say thank you guys for watching. I want to say thank you for those of you who have subscribed at 7 subscribers. It's going up in people, got plenty of views. I got an email from YouTube saying people have watched like around 450 minutes of your videos in all. That's great. It's great to know that I'm not just if no one watched this, I would still do the videos, because it's just something I enjoy doing, and I don't get to talk about Magic at home. No one cares. There's no one within a good 40 minutes drive. Like, if I want to go talk to anyone that I know that plays Magic, I have to drive 40 minutes. I have to drive like an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending upon traffic, to the closest LGS, which technically isn't an LGS. It's just a game store. So yeah. And I mean, no one likes buying packs from Walmart, and I may also eventually get some like Chaos packs, the Walmart cubes, or just go there and buy random boosters and such. Let me know if you guys would prefer the Chaos packs. I know a lot of YouTubers do Chaos packs. Just let me know what you guys think. At one point I ended up buying like 5 booster packs, Chaos pack, and a cube. That was about a month before I started doing my channel. I kind of wish I would have waited on this stuff, but by then I wasn't sure I wanted to do the channel or not. So that would have been some decent content, but you guys still would have had to wait a while, because I can't really do it on this kind of camera, because no one wants to see me sit here like opening up a pack, be like, and then just like pulling them to the side and stuff. No one wants to see that. So at least with the camera, better quality, better everything. You guys won't have to stare at me the whole time. You guys won't have to sit here and see my laptop shake every time I move while I'm sitting in a recliner in my bedroom with the laptop on my lap. Alright, so I've went over my 40-minute mark. Thanks for watching. Leave comments, like, subscribe, whatever. Seriously, give me some comments, give me some input or output, whatever. Peace out. Thanks.